Welcome to Dungeon Not Included. This is Vampires in Vegas. We expect this to be the last game in this arc. So, are you excited? I am.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm also, for podcast listeners, I'm also Frank, and I'm joined by Alex, Revel, and Brennan. As always, we are concluding our vampire arc probably this week, unless something amazing happens, which it could. We never know. We might just be like, we can't let these beautiful bastards go. Before we begin, how was everyone's week? It's been a while since we've talked, and I'm gonna check in.
Good.
How was everyone's week?
It was great. Yeah.
No complaints. Pretty easy week.
Yes. I totally forgot today was Memorial Day, and I was like, "Oh, are we still running this game? Is it in bad taste? No, it is not." So we have some news at the end of the show. We're gonna share with everyone about what we're doing next. Which we haven't really pre-discussed much other than
it was like news. We have news.
Well, we're finally going to discuss why Alex and I are constantly at odds.
Oh yeah. We have to do the
ARG
reality game. Yeah, we have to really dig into that.
We're going to be talking about what's going on next. But before we do that, and before we begin play, let's talk about where our characters are as of now, as of the last game session. So let's do this clockwise. Brennan, where is Lex?
So as of now, I'm trying to remember from where we were last week. So
I believe you had a confrontation with Archie the Prince, which resulted in Charlie almost decapitating him with her bare hands.
Shot out his eye.
Yeah. You made him go into a frenzy, which basically did incapacitate him. And then the two of you left, and I don't know if we ever established where you were going, but we could kind of get an idea of where's your headspace right now.
Well, Lex is concerned for the future of the city, considering that we've assaulted the prince, had discussions with a vampire that is attempting to take everything over with his weird snake cult.
Yeah.
And there's mortals who are potentially going to blow the lid off this whole thing. So I think he's going to want to talk to Charlie about what is our next steps.
Okay. That's fair enough. And before we get into Rebel and Charlie, let's go to Merryweather. Last session, very end of that session was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, Merryweather finalized aspects for the party that he was going to throw with Susie. Met with a police officer, Officer McCormick, who he was going to try and dose for a second time. So he's been working on trying to get some high level people under his thrall, and ended up accidentally killing him in the process. And has mind to potentially turn said cop into one of our vampires, despite the fact that would be very much against his prince's commands, which he, as of right now, believes the prince is totally fine, just a little under the weather.
Yeah.
And was Merryweather the one who was privy to the news report?
No one was.
No one was. Oh, okay.
That was just a little flavor for the audience.
Perfect. Never mind.
Yeah.
So then Merryweather is looking at. He's just called in Lucius to help him prepare for whatever it entails to turn a dead body into a vampire.
I think I may be mistaken, but I thought we did turn him. Well, anything could go wrong, but I think you did didn't make him into a vampire.
Perfect.
You had
done.
A full night,
yes.
And you were both entwined with one another in one way or another. and that's when I think that's when we faded out, and we probably will not, my memory of this game, meaning Vampire the Masquerade, is that it takes a couple of days before vampirism kicks in, so it'll come in whenever dramatically appropriate, if it even happens, or the death will come in whenever dramatically appropriate, depending on what happens in this game.
Sure.
Okay, Rebel, where's Charlie right now? What I think that's a very good question. You're the only person who's been spending blood regularly, so and making a big show about. We've always wondered where does Charlie get her blood? So what are you doing right now, storming off after narrowly avoiding the temptation to kill the prince?
Yeah, Charlie is hungry. She, after almost frenzying on the prince, I think she's decided that she's got to eat before she goes bonkers on somebody else who's not as deserving.
Okay.
So she's probably gonna split off from Lex unless he stops her.
I think Thursday, we've run Thursday night so long, it's probably so early in the morning on Thursday night that Lex, you may not be able to stick around.
Oh, yeah, that I have to go and sleep.
Yeah, and I think it gives us a good, a good break to finally make Friday happen. So normally, Charlie would be the person who might be active during the day because of your high humanity, and may actually hear about the untimely news break that humans in the waking world during sunrise are now talking about vampires as if they may be real. But because of the extenuating circumstances of the night before and how much you exhausted yourself, I don't think you're that active during the day, except for maybe feeding. So I think the first thing I want to establish is how you're getting your blood, and then we're going to immediately go to nightfall on Friday. So how does Charlie get her blood?
So Charlie goes to one of the residential areas of Las Vegas, and she knocks on a door, and a woman in scrubs opens up the door, and she says, "Hi, darling. I'm a mite peckish," and the woman gestures for her to enter.
Oh,
so
nice, classic vampire.
Yeah.
You were invited in. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Who is this, and what is her deal? Give me a little setup so I could help.
This is Charlie's girlfriend. She works as a nurse at the local hospital. They met because Charlie was asking for regular blood, and then they got entangled.
That's awesome.
She is mortal, and she is not a ghoul.
That's awesome. That's great. Okay, great. So I don't think you were severely injured, or actually, I don't think you were injured, right? So
No, not at all.
Just a lot of like, I need blood, or else I'm going to freak out and start killing people for their blood just because I'm angry. Okay, so it's like, okay, you tell me, where do you want to do this? I don't want you to flip out. Wherever's most comfortable for you. You want to do this in the kitchen?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
All right. And it's a pretty like calm, almost as if like someone's trying to calm you for like giving blood or something simple.
Right.
It's not romantic. It's not brutal. It's not graphic. It is a necessary thing. It's a medical procedure, but it's done with a lot of love and care. And yeah, probably just 1 point of blood is enough. I don't want to get into rolling instinct or self-control to see if you could take more. I don't think you're damaged enough for that to really matter. We've already played with your humanity enough, I think. All right. How much blood are you going to drain from her? How much do you think is enough? Is one going to be good enough, or do you want to do more and have this be a more impactful thing?
No, just like a pint is fine.
Okay. All right. All right. After the deed is done, would you like to talk?
It's been a long week and it's not over yet. And I think there's a lot going on that I don't even know how to explain. So, and she'll glance at the window and say, I don't think I'm going to make it back home before sunrise. Can I borrow your bathroom for the day?
You can borrow my bathroom any day. You know that. I got the blackout curtains. You want to and I've had a long shift. If you just want to sleep, I trust you. You have enough to get by. We can sleep the day away.
That sounds lovely.
All right. And reinforced blackout curtains, the whole deal. She put effort in to make sure you were safe. And yeah, you both, I think, zonk out. So it's the next night. Now we can all discuss how we were supposed to meet up. Do you want to leave her a little early in the night? Maybe she's still sleeping. I don't know if it's a little late in the game to be introducing her and bringing her along and a little dangerous. So
yeah, no, Charlie doesn't get her involved in all this shit. They hang out when Charlie's not doing crazy world-ending masquerade shit.
Fair enough. Lex, where did you sleep away the night last night?
Back in my little hidey
morning?
hole.
Okay. All right. Night falls. It's time to get at it. And Meriwether is another person I need to know. Is Lucius hiding the body to see what happens?
Yeah, so I don't know how long does this process take for on my end. Like, is it an instantaneous thing? Is it a thing that takes an entire night of me having to be with them to go through? Like, how does
the process of what you did was you drained him of all his blood and then you gave him some of your blood to drink?
Sure, perfect.
Yeah.
Then, because I like it, I don't know, depending on which TV show or book you read is how this thing goes. So I think, frankly, I think Meriwether would be like, Lucius, why don't you just put him with the other bodies? And if it works out well, fine. Awesome.
Oh,
if not, it's in the convenient dumping space that they put all the other ones. And I'll go check on him later.
All right, perfect. And yeah, you are. So where are the three of you agreeing to meet up? Let's say there was you've known each other for years. So where is it? The game table again?
What time is the event? I think that's starting now, right?
Yeah, the event's going to be starting up unless you want to role play. Like, do I have an answering machine that's blinking like crazy?
All right. So this was an early evening. Like the people would get ready for this event.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would assume that anybody who's doing anything fresh, like caterers, are probably there an hour and a half before the event. Right. DJ, no DJ, because Lex is doing it live. But I'm sure everybody's getting things set up at the Luxor. Even if it's like a 6 o'clock thing, everyone's starting at 4. So I'm gonna say that we're
I guess it's sort of like a time of year thing where like is it sunset around 4 or what have you, but that's fine.
Sure.
Let's say all right, so Lex, you could get your crew together. You have not heard anything from Charlie beforehand, but you have a show tonight, so you're gonna go there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the show.
All right,
I'll get dressed for the show.
Charlie again, and not much other than not disturbing anyone. You're gonna, I guess. Are you still planning on going to the event?
Yeah.
All right. And then so Mary is the big question mark. You wake up like despite well fed a little later than you would have anticipated, and yes, your answering machine is a buzz.
So Merriweather is going to go grab his suit off the shelf that he has ready for tonight. Essentially, he has gone. He wants to lean into the whole vampire movie stylized thing. So he's got something that in my head looks like a cross between like the classic black suit, black on white, whatever, but instead of the and it still has the high collar of the vampire, but instead of the traditional cape, it's basically one of those like rhinestoned Elvis half capes that go down the back. So
Perfect.
Very leaning into the whole Vegas of it all. So while he's like putting on his couplings, he sees it's blinking and he goes over and he hits the button.
Okay.
Listen to
the messages are, most of them are pretty generic. Like I need actually those wouldn't even go to you. They'd probably go to Lucius. The ones I need help, Lucius, about like I need help for this, or I need this piece of minutia. Susie's messages come in pretty loud and clear, and they're increasingly more nervous and anxious, which is expected the night before a big party. But eventually she spills off enough details where you're getting context clues of what she's talking about. And she says, well, should we even do this with the story leaked early? I mean,
that message doesn't even finish before he picks up the phone and calls her. That's money going out the window. So he's like,
no one picks up on the other end. You get her answering service, and so whatever person is picking up the line says, "Oh, she's preparing for the big soiree that is happening tonight. It is still happening, correct?"
100%. I was just checking on my girl. I wanted to see how she's doing. I think everything is gonna be fine. The muckety mucks are all gonna be there. It's gonna be there's gonna be songs, dance, nothing to worry about.
Oh, good. All right. Well, I mean,
if you could really quick, what are her main concerns? Because I got a bunch of messages, and I just want to make sure that everything she's worried about, I've taken care of.
I mean, I can't really speak for her, but I mean, I just for myself, this all seems pretty ghoulish. I mean, there was a real person who died, at least one. It's all over the news. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, well, of course, this is not my place to say, but it seems pretty horrible.
Although, sure.
But
just wait till you see Lex's show.
Yeah. Sure. I can see that, but I mean, City of Sin, right? I feel like if there's any place, if there's any time and place, this might be it. All right. Well, you wish her a good night. I will see her soon. Tell her if you talk to her, tell her everything's all set, and we will see her at curtain call. All right.
Well,
all right.
Good luck,
bye.
Mr.
Ciao.
Merriweather.
Yeah. Bye. He hangs up. Immediately goes over, grabs some whiskey, and throws it up. As he does. And starts paging Lucius and asks for a newspaper. ASAP.
All right, Lex, what is your preparation like? What's the performance? What is it? Not the performance, but what's the costuming? What's the whole deal?
So I've got a band. We've got stuff that is, as goth as possible at this point. We're going full goth. We're dressed in decrepit looking ancient suits.
All right, nice.
Full 19th century,
full face makeup and everything.
In fact, I'm going to come onto stage with rubber teeth and then spit them out.
Oh, that's going to
show my real fangs.
All right, awesome. Perfect. Pretty brief question for how is Charlie dressing for this thing?
She's the muscle, right? So
Yeah.
she'll wear her nice clothes that Lex and her picked out when they went shopping. So like the peacock vest and yeah,
Love it. Love it.
'cause,
Great.
you know, she's dressing for the job. She's not dressing for comfort. She is still wearing her cowboy hat though.
Of course. Yes, this is our Ocean's 11
Generations
moment.
11.
Generations 11 moment where the crew is getting together.
Thank you, minus 42.
Yes. Let's decide how the news breaks. Meriwether, you're going to get a newspaper. Anybody who has who walks past the television or a crowd of people on the streets, everyone has been talking about for hours now the fact that a vampire serial killer, it seems, has been killing people in Las Vegas, draining them of their blood, writing satanic symbols all over the place and in blood. Apparently there's been a cover-up within the police department to hide this information, that it was leaked early because of some strange goings on over the last few days. And people are panicked, and you can viscerally feel that it's a dangerous time to be walking around looking like a vampire. So let me know how any of you get this idea before you go to the Luxor? Do you meet up beforehand, or do you actually like pick up on this only when you're entering the doors of the Luxor and there are crowds of people outside very confused?
It's only when I get there that I notice, and I am dressed like a vampire, so
nice,
like a performing vampire, because I have like sequins and shit on me too. So yeah.
So you look like you're being treated like a goth walking down Branson, Missouri's street. Like you're not welcome here. This is bad timing. This is not cool. But I don't even know if that would be so noticeable.
I don't know that Lex would notice that.
Yeah, and so you're making your way to the Luxor. Is Charlie stopped along the way, or do you go right there, all business?
I think Charlie will make it there all business. She doesn't really look like what people think of a vampire, especially because she's not white, so she doesn't have like that alabaster skin, you know, that everybody expects, and she's dressed in a suit and a cowboy hat. Like,
right,
she's just some weirdo walking down the street.
Somebody in Vegas is what you look like.
Yeah. So nobody gives you the time of day, and you have not noticed anything. But like the camera angle would show you just running past or walking past teams of people just watching news and freaking out in the window. You're just not picking up on any of it, focused on the job ahead. Meriwether, what are you gonna do?
Meriwether thinks it, like, basically tries to plan it out in his head. So he's trying to figure out like cost benefit analysis at this point, because there's a lot of money that's been sunk into this party. There's the name and the reputation of Meriwether Quackenbush is on the line here, so he has to choose between either leaning heavy into it or canceling. And I think canceling would be worse for him, because he also rationalizes in his head like the people who, especially the woman who is running this thing, who hired him in the first place, was expecting to throw a vampire themed party as they had made this announcement. So how can a difference of 15 minutes be, or in his head, like, what's the difference between people knowing beforehand or people learning while they're there ingesting, cocktails and racking out the vampire music? How is that going to be any different? This
Certainly
is what
for
she
someone
paid
like
for.
someone like Meriwether. This isn't like in bad taste.
No, not at all.
It's just about the timing, right?
Yeah. So he's like, this is what they paid for. This is literally what they paid for. They paid for the taboo of a vampire themed party as vampires were announced to the world. Done. So Meriwether heads out to go to this thing. I think he probably in whatever sort of carry case that Lucius has with him, he probably gets rid of the cape until he gets there with the high collar. In the meantime, he just basically looks like he's wearing a black and white suit.
Smart.
He does, and just because I think it might be really important, because he does foresee this being a thing, he does have his pistol tucked away, carried inside his breast pocket, just because.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you get there and you Charlie, so you're all together. Charlie's in charge of the muscle. Whether or not that means you're directing any other security is up to you. Their security is a little bit up their own ass because the guy who was supposed to be in charge of handling all the living cops who are there to help off-duty police officers did not show up for work for some reason. What else is there? Lex is there with his band. They're doing their setup.
Whatever, yeah.
And then finally, all the behind the scenes people who are there, including Susie, who's there a little early, are panicking because they think this party has preemptively failed. That everyone is already talking about this. No one's gonna. They don't have the scoop anymore, and that's the horrible news. So yeah, the three of you can begin to role play with one another, and Susie's also there if you'd like to pull her into a conversation. She's just really nervous.
I think Merriweather will find them before he goes to Susie, just because he knows he's gonna handle his people before he handles the host. That's something he's good at. But he has to make sure everything is set. So he finds Lex and Rebel, and before he gets into anything about setup, he just says, "How is things with the prince?" Really quick. I know we got a lot to do tonight, but really quick, how did that go?
Yeah, both of us are like,
not good.
Not good.
Charlie kind of shot him in the eye.
You shot the prince.
To be fair, he did admit to systematically killing poor people for his own benefit, so...
Okay. All right.
So there's no prince situation going on right now. I feel like he's either going to try and kill us, but he's not going to deal with the situation. There's nobody to go to, if you know what I mean.
Okay. So couple of things. So we have a gravely injured leader of our kingdom, correct? That's what that's one of the big takeaways here. It sounds like Charlie had what in their mind seemed to be rationale for it. Not going to touch that one right now. I just want to understand we're dealing with another person of high power who's trying to take over a kingdom, and we have gravely injured the person who's in charge of our kingdom. That's we're leaving this.
He's a prince, isn't it technically a principality?
Sure. Oh. All right, so just our principality is very weak and vulnerable right now. Okay.
Susie is drinking and making a big scene. She's probably already a little drunk from the sound, and she's yelling at the caterers and yelling at everybody. What's the point of any of this? Very much a spoiled brat talking about that everyone already knows. And we'll say that there's enough clues going on and enough people watching TVs that Lex and Charlie, if you could probably piece together that something has been spilled.
If you haven't seen that over there is our hostess. I'm gonna go take care of that. Really quick, Lex, I need you to be getting ready on stage. Charlie, our head of security is our liaison to the police is not going to make it tonight. Would
Yeah,
you
I kind of
mind?
noticed
Mhm.
the police officers running around like chickens
Sure.
with their heads cut off.
I'm going to I'm going to just let them know. Hey, everyone, Charlie is in charge tonight. You all just take orders from her. She has got this covered. Officer McCormick is under the weather. Charlie is going to be taking over. Please just follow command there. You will still be paid the same. There's no worries, no rush, nothing to worry about here. Just follow this person's lead. See how big and imposing she is? She is going to be your rock tonight, okay?
They seem very confused and concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that that's going to be another problem you might have to deal with in a moment.
That might be a problem that Charlie's going to have to deal with in a moment. I have a hard drinking host.
I don't have any leadership, man. You can't do this.
None.
Yep. So, yeah. Oh, and really quick before I go take care of this, everyone knows the news story broke early. The entire world is aware that a vampire-themed serial killer has been going around. I'm going to go put out a whole bunch of fires. Bye! And Merryweather runs off.
All right.
Okay.
So we still got a gig. That's the important thing.
Is it the important thing?
Oh, this is so good. All right. So I'll be honest. Lex, I think your band is willing. You know what? I'm going to give you something to play with here. I think the band is like, well, there's no one here, and I don't think anyone's going to show up. What are we supposed to do?
We are
perform
going
to an empty hole? That sucks.
Listen to me. The people who are here are going to get the show of a lifetime.
All right.
The show of their lifetime.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Listen, rallying the troops is something I'm good at, so I don't know if I even need to roll for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see it because I would like to see what you're doing to them. Are you just like being good at all right, go for it. Yeah, just
straight up charisma, leadership.
Yeah, that's even better. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to see you drive your entire band crazy with the desire to perform the best show
That's
ever.
The backup plan.
But yeah, if we have to get there, we'll have to see whether this will work. Difficulty is going to be 6, I think.
Oh, I should probably open roll 20.
Yeah, because you're going to be probably if not the next, then the one after.
That will be 4 successes.
They don't really know what your plan is, but they know enough about you. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, all right.
It will be because the performance is my highest skill.
Yeah, they're gonna love it at the very least. I have produced shows like that. I'm like, all right, everybody who's on this show is gonna really enjoy it. Too bad there's no one in the audience, but man, people are gonna enjoy it. All right, is Charlie gonna try to take a leadership role of the security?
Yeah.
If there isn't a policeman's union yet, there will be in about 10 minutes.
They're kind of all crowded around, and they're like, "You're supposed to be in charge now."
Yes, I am. You gotta. I don't know. I would have to ask Merryweather, and he is busy dealing with the hostess. And I gesture over to the lady who's pounding drinks and screaming about how nobody's going to show up.
Oh my god, I really don't want to have to deal with that lady. So,
right,
like, what do you know about security? He doesn't seem like he's being like purposely, or any of them seem like they're being purposely antagonistic, but this is weird. They have no idea what they're supposed to be doing. So what are you planning on telling them? How are you going to take a leadership role here?
I will say I may not look it, but I have been in the game for a while. I run these kinds of events all the time. I'm Merryweather's #1 guy. And if you want to arm wrestle me, we can go for it. But
Yes, let's do that. Charisma. It's charisma leadership, but if you, I mean, it's not really it could be an intimidation role, but it doesn't seem like you're really threatening them with arm wrestling. Let's see if this works. Charisma leadership.
yeah, we'll see. Good
Not
luck
your
to
strong
me.
2 dice. Difficulty is
I have
death.
0 in leadership.
All right.
Hey, at least you have a little charisma.
Mm-hmm.
So roll those
Yeah.
2 dice. Difficulty 6.
Oh, come on. You can do this.
Hold on. It's taking a while to load.
Mm-hmm. You have potence
Submit.
too.
Rolling the
Gotta win.
dice.
1 success.
Okay.
1 success.
Yeah. So you hand them their own asses. It's ridiculous, and it's a little weird, but they're like, oh God, man, you're stronger than you look. And for the record, no one here questioned that. Oh, but all right, we're still gonna get paid, so you're taking over. That's weird though that McCormick didn't show up. I mean, he was supposed to meet up with what's his face, the guy running the show last night. Where did he go?
Merryweather?
Yeah, he's supposed to check in with Merryweather, make sure everything's clear. Nobody heard from him since last night. Odd.
Don't worry, we'll
Anyways.
figure it out after. All right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then she'll give them their
partial success.
yeah.
All right.
She'll give them their orders, tell them where to go, what to look out for.
What
Be in
do you
charge.
Anybody wearing a robe?
Yeah.
I will
Are
say,
you aiming them at the vampire?
Snake tattoos.
no. I wouldn't aim them at the vampires.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get them killed.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, make sure that anybody who walks in has an invitation.
Standard security stuff.
Yeah. Basic
okay.
stuff.
Yeah. If there's a robe, call me, but do not engage. Yeah. All right.
Right. Yeah.
Merryweather and Susie.
Mm-hmm. Merryweather goes up and sees Susie.
It's all ruined.
Oh, it is not ruined, sweetheart. It is just getting started. The party hasn't even begun yet. You wouldn't even want that many people here now anyway. Who shows up early to a party?
I don't see the point of doing this. I don't know what we're gonna do. What are you gonna do, Mary?
Oh, well, first off, we have a strict guest list as of right now. I have some plans with that might make things a little easier. But trust me, when things get going, things will get moving. I don't even see why people wouldn't show up to this. The biggest headline in America right now is vampires. We got the biggest vampire party going on.
You better be right, or else I don't know what I'm gonna do. And she just sort of storms off and starts to drink. She's not really going to be incredibly useful.
No, I wasn't.
But yeah,
that wasn't my goal. My goal is to try, and I'm gonna go one more time to just be like, hey, and I want to use on my character sheet, just as a Toreador. Generally, I have like awe, right? People generally like me.
Yeah,
So,
your presence is the discipline that can manipulate the hell out of people.
So with awe, which is the people love me one,
Mhm.
which is just my level one as a Toreador, I'm just going to lean heavy into that and just be like, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine. And I just want her to calm the hell down.
I knew you would save the day. I just can't wait to find out how.
Yeah. And Merryweather has a plan. And he's going to go up to his chief of security and say, Charlie, we're going to have a slight change tonight. I'm going to go with Lucius to go find whatever loudspeaker connects to the Luxor's like floors, just gaming floors. We're gonna go talk to some friends in the industry really quick, and no guest list tonight. We're just gonna 86 the
Nope.
guest list. Anyone who wants in is in.
Is that a good idea? With the snake cultists downstairs?
Probably not. But I feel like that is something that we should. I mean, they're gonna, if they want to make their way up here, they're gonna make their way up here, right? Like, with the exception of you watching the front door, do you think that like any of the people that we have here are going to be able to handle a large group of snake cult vampires that are going to try and come in here? I feel like if they're going to come here, they're going to come here anyway. I'm just trying to put butts in the seats.
It seems like a really bad idea.
Well, how about this? We'll keep the guest list as is right now. We'll open the doors so that the music that Lex is going to put on in a few minutes starts going through. And if people start trickling in and it looks like our regular guest list people start showing up, no problem. Awesome. Let them in. And after a bit, if we still don't have the Merryweather-esque level of fun going on in here, we'll maybe loosen those guidelines slightly. Let's play it by ear.
All right, but just don't come crying to me when a bunch of snake cultists try to kill people.
Oh, you 100% will be coming to you when snake cultists try and kill us. Yes,
Well,
that's kind of
but
how our friendship works.
I just mean I told you so.
Oh yes, you have. You have told me. I'm marking that down. 100%. Putting that right, and he pulls out his own little notebook that he carries. He's like, Charlie told me so. Got it. Okay, bye. And disappears back into the crowd and goes up and tells Lex he wants him to start early and start playing as loud as he can.
All right.
Oh,
All right, Lex, paint us a word picture. How is
All right.
your show going?
So Lex comes up to the front of the stage of this mostly empty room. It's like staff that he's playing to at this point. He is going to hiss into the microphone with the fake teeth in. Spit out the rubber teeth, not bothering to hide his real teeth.
All right.
And all of his band members have fake teeth in now too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And opens with the song from the Lost Boys.
Oh,
Say hello to the night.
Yes. Cry Little Sister,
man.
that one. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Is an oiled up sax member like what? Somebody on your band?
Yeah.
Oiled up sax guy? Oh, yes. All right. The rhythmic beat is going out, and the staff really seems to be into it. Are you doing any special effects, or is this going to be just a performance role right now?
That's just
Special effects. I mean, like yeah. All right. Make me a performance role.
You know that I've got like pyrotechnics or things like that.
No, I actually meant like some Dementis or some discipline power.
Just straight up performance.
All right.
And
Let's see how great this show is.
I mean, this role could go really badly. We'll see.
Yeah.
I only have 8 dice, so. Ooh, I see
0 successes.
0 successes.
0. Okay, it's you're doing a good job. The music, I think the music's good, but everybody there is working.
Right.
That's what we've established. Everyone's there working. They're not even they're supposed to be like top of the line. That's who Merriweather got. They're not supposed to
Right.
just sit there and start jamming, right?
No.
So
no.
everyone's
So we're
doing
getting
their
nothing
job.
back from the audience.
Nothing.
Mhm.
Oh, it's painful for me. So yeah,
That's
this
about as
thing
bad as you
is
can
dead.
roll on 8 dice, I gotta say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
this
not true.
party's
You could
dead.
have gotten negative successes.
That's true.
So the party's dead.
Mhm.
Even like Susie, because of the awe effect on her, and it's pretty obvious. So here, yeah, we do know these feels. The effect is on the staff. They're just nothing.
Mhm.
On
Right.
the band, they're beginning to misstep because like they're getting
Because
nothing
they're
back from the
freaking
audience.
out. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. The security is they're doing their job, they're standing there, but they're like, like chewing on toothpicks and doing other idle things that you would do in the day before a smartphone. Just not really focusing up at all. And Susie, weirdly, is sitting there with her eyes like big and doe, looking at you, Merriweather, and just being like, I know you're going to save the day. I know you have an idea.
Perfect.
Charlie, you might be able to notice this, that there is a very unusual, the Susie's in the crowd, and she seems to be the only person who's transfixed on Merriweather as a savior. Everybody else is acting like a bored mortal. Yes, Mary.
Merriweather is checking his watch and looking at how close is it to the actual time that the event's supposed to start.
We're getting into it. It's start time now. People don't necessarily show up early, but
But
there's
yeah,
no
there
line
should be.
outside. Yeah. The party has, as of now, without intervention, this party is a failure, which is failure in terms of a successful party, not necessarily in terms of like quieting down the buzz that the vampire reveal is. But I
Mhm.
don't think that's Mary's chief.
No. Mary's job is to get a decent word of mouth review later for when it comes. So Merriweather is looking around, and basically he's once again cost benefit analysis. Party is still going to be happening. He's got to be looking out for does the catering. The caterers are going to want to work with me again. Lex is banned. I'm not worried about them. Lex will work with me again. He doesn't care. The cops may or may not work with me again. The question is, how do we get people from the outside into the inside? And I think at this point, he's thinking, I've got to go make an announcement and just get everyone in here and get people moving.
Okay.
So Merriweather is going to grab Lucius and ask him to, he's like, you're in the network, people, put me in contact with whoever is in charge of, like who's on the floor, who's the head of the floor right now.
For the Luxor?
Yeah.
No one. This hotel hasn't opened yet. We're not going to get any foot traffic unless we literally go out into the streets. Lucian's he looks at his pager, says,
yeah,
this is from the Goon Squad. Should I make this phone call?
100%. Please do.
Okay. Tell me if you need anything else, but I'll report back in. And he leaves to make that phone call.
Lucius.
Merriweather, you can do it.
Merriweather. Merriweather looks around. Is there any sort of megaphone or portable speaker or anything that he can take with him? All right. Merriweather is going outside with his megaphone and everything directly to the strip.
Sure. There's even like the speakers in this space are so huge. If you do want to open up some of these windows and blast out the music.
Yes, I want the doors and everything open. I want music coming out. Merriweather is going to the street, and he is going to how much blood do I have? I have a lot in my blood pool.
You should be refilled if you drank a person dry.
Yeah, all right. So I'm refilled. Is there any way to like use blood to enhance basically what I want to do is I want to use awe to the streets. Just the whole people love me. I want to just get out in the middle of the strip and just get as many people walking by to love me and go in.
Sure. Yeah, I love this. I think you have enough presence from 3. I
Yeah.
don't actually remember.
I have
don't
3
remember all the
presents.
powers. Yeah, what are the powers of presence? Do you?
I
Did
have awe,
you have the
red gaze, and entrancement. Awe is just generally people love me and want to please me, or
Yeah.
people are attracted to me. Red gaze is the one where I can make people fear me, and then entrancement is the this person will do what I ask them to do.
All right.
I don't necessarily need to go to that level where I'm just entrancing every person walking by, but I would love to have the ability to just basically milk my charisma for as much as possible.
All right. I like this. I know. Does it cost blood to do awe? I can't remember.
I don't know how presence works. I just didn't know if I can give myself, like, I'm thinking fate rules.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I give myself +1s for draining blood on myself as people walk by?
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to the actual roll for awe is what I'm looking for right here. I do believe we could do something fun, and actually, yeah, let's do it this way. So, appearance, empathy. That's entrancement. I read the wrong one. Give me one
Charisma
second. Sorry.
performance.
Yeah, charisma, performance.
I would love to do charisma performance. Where's my
Do you
performance?
prefer
Performance is
charisma
nothing.
performance?
Ooh, okay. Charisma's 4 though. Can I make an argument for expression? Charisma expression.
You can, and that argument is on the nebulousness of the skill chart for this game, and also
Okay.
you not having known it before we started playing.
All right, perfect. Here we go. What's my
7
difficulty? 7.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try and Barnum this shit. Come one, come all. 2 successes.
All right. So what's happening is you are going to go out into the street and you're what we call barking. You're encouraging people to come to the show. Come to the show. But you're using your vampire powers to make it seem very compelling. This mixed with Lex's performance, which you can try again now that you are doing something weird. This is the Beatles on the rooftop moment where you're just playing to everyone.
Sure.
Make another performance check.
Okay.
And we can see how many people start coming in. People are interested and they're coming forward, but they're in small groups. Let's see if you could actually lure the people who are terrified about this vampire news.
Okay, that's time I got 5 successes.
Okay.
Nice.
So a few, people come in who are more or less either degenerates or just people who seem like they're just transfixed by you, Meriwether. They're just like, oh yeah, all right, we'll go to this. This is why we came to Vegas, honey. We want to see stars, and this person is a star. And they start walking in, and then as the music wells up, even the people who are sitting or standing cowering in front of electronic stores looking at TV sets or sitting there reading the newspaper and about this thing, they're intrigued and they're coming into the Luxor.
Meriwether heads back in and just goes to Charlie and says, Charlie, we're going with plan B. I'm 86ing the guest list. Let everybody in here they're not the high rollers and celebrities we were hoping for, but if nothing else, we'll get a bunch of people in here. Susie will be fine with it. The seats will be there. They'll at least give it the appearance that we know what we're doing. So yeah, that's it. Please just let everybody in. If anybody does look particularly snaky, please, we can try and mitigate that before they get in here.
All right, I'll convey new orders to the officers, which is basically nobody who's stumbling drunk, nobody who's gonna ruin the party, but anybody else is good to go.
All right. One of the officers says, man, this is ridiculous. We're just letting people off the street. McCormick would never allow this.
Don't get me started.
Mary, make me a self-control roll.
Okay. So this just what am I putting those in for how am I doing this?
Any way you could make a pool of 3. You could also just put /roll 3d10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. /roll 3d10.
So you're rolling to see if you could keep a level head when you're being spoken back to. No successes. So yet again, everything is falling apart. You're almost going to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And people are bringing up McCormick. These, not even people, mortals.
Mhm.
Food. Your food is talking back to you. So I would like this to be, and you could frame it as you wish, but this is you slipping up in front of Charlie about
Sure.
McCormick.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to just basically say like McCormick is not here. McCormick is not in charge right now. I am the one paying your paycheck. Charlie is the one who is in charge. McCormick is not going to be around anytime soon. So you better get used to this situation. And if you don't like it, you can walk.
Right. Sure. Right. No, I didn't mean anything, boss. We'll let everyone in. And the guy walks away.
Merriweather, or Charlie
Yes,
pulls
Charlie.
Merriweather to the side and says,
Mhm.
what do you mean he's not going to be around anytime soon?
Oh, he's not he's not among the living anymore. Things got a little out of hand and we lost that one.
Merriweather's
You
fangs are
killed it?
probably out because of the
Mhm.
the failure of self-control. So there's
Oh,
more. Yeah.
So Merriweather's fang. Yes, I did. I accidentally drank too hard from him in a moment of a heat of passion kind of moment. You know how every once in a while we kind of lose control. I had one of those. I will
Merriweather,
reconcile.
what the fuck?
It happens. It happens. You've
Really?
never lost control.
Not in
Lose-
years.
Mm-hmm. Well, it happens. So that's just something that it might be fine. It might not. We'll deal with it. In fact, it's more of a me and Archie thing anyway. So don't worry about it. I'll deal with him. We'll deal with that later.
Dude, I think you need a break. If you're going around accidentally murdering people, you need to take some vacation time.
Lucian shows up as well. He's standing behind you, Merriweather, waiting patiently for the chance to approach and talk. Charlie and Merriweather, it's actually probably just Charlie, not Merriweather. He is nervous, like he is about to deliver horrible news. Merriweather, you may not have enough humanity right now to even pick up on the fact that he is deathly afraid of what's going to happen.
Then if in that case, I turn around and I say, "What, Lucius?"
Would you like to speak privately about the message from the prince?
Charlie here knows more about the prince's predicament than I do. I'm sure that Charlie can handle some news. What is it?
The remaining goon squad said that they are no longer looking they're no longer interested in your blood supply. That we've been cut off. We're no longer supplying the prince with his supply of blood for the destitute. The
Any
arrangement.
particular reason? Did they give any more details than that?
I assume this had something to do with the prince's grave injuries and the fact that Charlie may have been the one responsible. And they have also said some horrible things about Lex, but I don't know what we're going to do with all the blood we've been gathering.
Well, we'll figure something out with that. But if the prince says no more, then no more. Shut down operation. You can start spreading the word that that operation is done.
Right.
We will await orders for the next next bit. I'm sure he's got something in mind for how he wants to get blood in the future. But if that's the mechanism we're not using anymore, it's not the first time nor the last time I've had to change things for him. Okay.
You've been gathering blood for the prince?
Yes, 100%. He's the prince.
You've been draining destitute people.
Yes, that's how the prince drinks.
you're do
Lex
you
launches
see
into Bela Lugosi's Dead.
Mhm.
A 20-minute version.
Love it.
do you see any problem with the fact that you have been systematically killing poor people, or is that just not on your radar?
I mean, you asking if I enjoy this? No. I mean, it's the job. I have a prince. We have royalty. We have people to whom we owe allegiance and our lives. This is how the Camarilla works. So yeah, I took orders from my prince. My prince asked me to do this. That's what it is. Now, interesting thing to point out here. We know that he'd been drinking this. When you had talked to him, did you find out exactly what the source of this mania he is undergoing is? Because does seem a bit erratic for him to be changing this much here, to be changing our supply system. He set this up through us years and years ago. So like it just seems a little odd that you talk to him for 5 minutes and the whole thing shuts down. So
Charlie, why don't you make me a self-control roll?
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody
Fuck.
else may be getting phosphorus in their eye socket.
That's your go-to move.
It's 3 dice, right?
I believe that's what you
Yeah,
have,
3
right?
dice. Yeah. Blah blah blah, and it's 8 for me.
Yes.
The difficulty.
I believe
no.
that's correct. For
it's your humanity. Okay. No
'Cause you're-
successes,
Yep.
even if the difficulty was 6.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Merriweather is a monster, and he has been part of this the entire time and needs to be stopped. I keep wanting to
I've
introduce the
lost my
villain, but I don't need to.
self-control.
I can't.
No.
I can't. I'm my favorite. I can't. Okay, play it through. I can't. I love this. Everything about the moral high ground that Charlie just tried to take in this room full of people doing full vamp to try and kill me. Just love it. loving watching that just go away.
Charlie's gonna pick Merriweather up and she is going to throw him out the window.
You might not die. It is a pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do I get any sort of opposed? This is any sort of opposed check?
Yes.
Sure.
So yeah, Charlie, you will do a
I have to grapple him first, right?
I think so, but this is going to be relatively simple. I don't know if, well, Merriweather's got the beast coming up, so he may have an ability to just avoid the grapple before we see strength versus resistance of that. This game gets very dicey with like how many mid-action rolls. There's like a roll to see if you hit, then there's dodging, then there's damage. It's really complicated. We'll try to muscle through it quickly. So first, Charlie, Dex Brawl. And then Mary, you would be rolling Dex Dodge, assuming that what you're trying to do is dodge out of the way.
Yep.
And it's an opposed roll, so difficulty will be a 6, and then whoever gets more dice succeeds. Little fun fact while we're waiting for the dice to roll.
Successes.
Oh, sorry, it's a 6?
Yes.
Difficulty?
Yeah.
Yep, hold on.
I got 2 successes.
The storyteller system was used for the Street Fighter role-playing
3
game.
successes!
Oh. All right. So yeah,
Street Fighter role-playing game.
It was, yes. I don't know if it was done successfully or not, but people like it. So, anyways, yeah, you go for Rebel Charlie goes for Merriweather, and Merriweather, you get out of the way. Why are you dodging? What's happening here? How did this manifest? Are we hissing like cats, or is it not one of those kinds of movies?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie. You can tell me this. I'm pretty sure that you probably telegraphed this pretty well, considering you're in a bit of a rage, right? I don't think you're trying to hide the fact that you're going for my throat with your hand. And
no,
I think that
no. Charlie looks pissed beyond belief. Like you've never seen her this angry before.
Mm-hmm.
Are there like little finger holes in the wall behind Merriweather? Like you lunged for him and you just got the wall instead? That would be awesome. But
I think what it is
the chunk out of the wall with your hand. Yeah.
I go for him and he dodges, and the people around the room, I think, see we're standing, like if I'm standing on the right and he's standing on the left, now I'm standing on the left and he's standing on the right. Like it's in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's all part of the show so far.
I'm gonna try and grab him again. I'm beyond reason.
I mean, if this is going to keep going back and forth until you get a successful grapple, I'll just let it happen. But if we want to do something...
No. If you have an idea, like, what is Merriweather going to do? Because, like I said, Charlie's not thinking right now.
Yeah. I think they're just giving us, like, setting up the stage.
Sure. I think if you're going to you grapple towards me and I dodge out of the way, I think at this point Merriweather I think knows that he's not any sort of powerhouse to be able to physically take you on. But I wanted to maybe try playing into my presence to use my Toreador as a back, and I'd like to red gaze you to make you fear me, if I can do that. Which I don't know what that's presence again. So what did we say? What would be the rules for that one if I wanted to do the dread gaze?
So it's intimidation and charisma intimidation.
Charisma intimidation,
which doesn't actually feel right to me, but I think your stats are the same. I feels almost like manipulation would be better for that, but whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, it's you're using your they're not the same. My charisma's better, which is why I'm going to lean into what the book says.
But this edition,
is there an oppose? Is there an oppose here for?
It's opposed to wits, courage,
and
wisdom, courage.
What's my difficulty?
The difficulty is going to be 6, and it's an oppose roll. So it really matters that.
3 successes.
I don't have any skills that will add up to the correct number because I have 5 courage.
It's wits, courage. Oh, you can't use that? Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. That's really weird. Our Roll20 character sheet, although useful that somebody made it for us, is not useful in that we can't find our virtues.
So 8d10.
I'm sorry, Alex. How much did you roll? I mean, what did you?
I got 3 successes. I rolled my charisma, which is 4, and
that is holy crap. That's a lot of success.
I got 7 successes.
What the hell's your courage?
5.
5. Wow, that's awesome.
All right, please paint us a word picture of how Mary approaches at a distance, possibly. Charlie and attempts to cow her with dread gaze.
I think he just turns around and says, like, Charlie, enough. This is not the time nor the place for this, and just kind of tries to stare down. I'm assuming, like, I'm gonna picture in my head that Charlie lunged past me and maybe went to a knee when I dodged, and I'm kind of standing up and trying to use the height to intimidate, which I think would be appropriate cinematically, but then also is not what's going to happen, obviously. So,
Yeah. You try to use your height to intimidate, and Charlie stands up and says, "You think that I am not used to posturing from little, sissy, manipulating bastards like you? I've dealt with people like you my whole fucking life, and I am not backing down."
Love it. All right, we'll do initiative to see if this continues on, but I'll throw in a little bit as a storyteller. We are well over. All right, let's talk. How do we want to handle this? We're well over. Do we want to do this one more week and lie to ourselves, or do we want to like something happens right now that makes us split up, and maybe in a future arc we will revisit these characters?
I think that point there would be an interesting place for the camera to cut, and then for us to do a time jump for the next campaign. And we don't exactly know how the rest of that night went, and it would be fun to play out like what happened the rest of that night, where have we been as time goes by, and what might have to happen to bring us back together after that. That's just throwing that out there as an option. We don't have to do it that way. But I kind of like did you ever see the Liam Neeson movie versus the Wolf?
Stop. So we're
working on trying to get some high level people under his thrall.
There we go. We did this for an entire, this was like 2 or so weeks ago. I was really excited to watch it again. I lost track of time. I'm going to call in all our players back to finish it. There's only one little bit you didn't get at the end of this podcast. We discussed what we were going to try to do for this week, this continuation. And I think we had one little Taylor scene that at the very end of this, where we brought Lex on stage, who hadn't said anything for quite a while, and remind everyone that Lex existed. And actually had a moment where he was locking eyes with our actual villain from the episode, or from the arc, Reginald Rogers. So hi Lex, hi Brennan, how are you?
Good.
All right, so I'm going to bring everyone back on. We're going to do a formal introduction for the last part of this. Rebel and Alex, I think you're all going to be in by now. Yay! Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks since we did that last game. How was it watching it again?
I feel very
fun
about my acting.
Yeah. That was fun. No, I think this is the first time I've watched it. I've heard it.
I don't generally watch it. I listen to the podcast. Aside from the never-ending like annoyance of how does this role work, which happens all the time, even in games that are much less crunchy than World of Darkness. It was really captivating, and I think I said this in the private chat. The last stare down between a dread-gazed Merryweather and a I'm not putting up with any more of this shit Charlie was Loki meets the Hulk in the first Avengers.
Yeah, very much so.
Presence.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Sorry for the awkward dismount, but we're about 10 minutes or 13 minutes in already. So we're going to get started on our last chapter. This time, no real need for catch up. We just did an hour of catch up.
Throwing it out there real quick. You should summarize. Did we summarize what happened with Brennan at the end?
I think I may have, but I'll say it as one sentence. Yeah. Mary and Rebel are squaring off, both on the edge of a frenzy, it seems, although we don't have to play it as frenzy because I want you to be able to emote to each other. And Lex, while performing and watching this happen, noticed that Reginald Rogers, with, I believe, Susie, an entranced Susie on his arms, is making eye contact with him in the crowd, just sort of swaying, being pretty much an audience of one. And the doors are battering down as people are coming to fill out as the I think there's no guest list now. People from the streets who have been entranced to come in are coming in. So that's pretty much the stage. I think the fact that Lex didn't have much to do at the end of the last game will open up with Lex. Lex, what are you doing right now?
All right, so Reginald is there. I'm continuing to perform, but what I'm gonna try to do is create a dementation in Reginald.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's get those roll 20s open. And what do you get to pick the actual like thing that goes into his head, or do you just try to get the mood for him? I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
So it says it takes the form of suppressed fears, guilty memories, or anything else obtrusive. This is affecting the senses of the person.
Okay.
At the storyteller's discretion.
Perfect. All right.
I have to spend a blood point, which I will do. I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to roll manipulation and subterfuge versus the target's perception and self-control.
Let me get you those. Hold on 1 minute.
I gotta say, I feel like Sir Reginald Rogers doesn't seem like the person with the best control, considering his whole thing is, I want to do whatever I want all the time.
Yes, but also I feel like you have to have a decent amount of control if you're going to run a cult, right? Like you have to be semi-organized, charismatic.
Do you? Do you have to be organized? I don't think you do.
I mean, I think to a point, right? There's got to be some organization to it in order to get people to stay.
He is a particularly weird person that is both sort of in control, but also a lunatic who obviously doesn't really know what's best for anyone in any given situation. That being said, the difficulty is 8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is a very perceptive individual.
Oh, that's fine. Let's see what I get. Let's see what I get.
3 successes.
All right.
Yeah. That
was a
made
good
it
roll.
exciting. All right, 3 successes. Great. So complete success. And you're doing it's guilt and fear and things from the background.
Yes.
All right, what's the song you're singing, or what's the kind of music you're playing right now? Give me an idea.
I think I'm covering Echo and the Bunnymen's Killing Moon right now.
Okay. All right. So the music again begins to well up, and it is so alienating and fearful that it maybe even stops Merriweather and Charlie for a moment, or at least like you could hear the music. It's not just the white rush of rage and fear. You make eye contact with Reginald Rogers, and he smiles broadly at you, and he puts his hand to his chest and sort of sways back and forth for a moment, and smiles a big fanged, toothy smile at you.
Okay.
And nods in appreciation. He is not reacting in any way to what you're doing. What you sense, however, like it almost maybe it takes you back a little bit, a little suspicious, and you could feel like when you are touching an audience, we'll say, and this is working, but it's not working on him right now. You feel some strange presence in this is a complete success. So you sense some strange presence in the building you're in. It's almost as if Reginald Rogers is somewhere else, panicking, but not in his body.
Interesting. Okay.
And you know what? Let me throw you another one if you have it. I don't have your character sheet in front of me. Knowledge, occult, or something like
Knowledge
that.
occult. Yeah.
Yeah. difficulty would be 6.
So that would be intelligence occult.
Yeah, I'm sorry, intelligence occult. Yeah. Let me pull up the period specific character sheet. Yeah, occult's there.
Difficulty 6 this time.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, my whole ones. Oh, I got 3 successes on that. Holy cow! Out of 3 dice.
Nice.
Okay, excellent. He's the delay for the sound effect is crazy. He somehow is detaching himself from his own emotions, and it seems like it's physical because some part of him is somewhere else in this building, and it's working on part of him, but it's not with him right now, and you don't know exactly what that means exactly, but actually you could fill in the gap. Does Brennan know what might be happening right now?
I don't remember anything about this from my days playing Vampire. So
I don't know how lame it is. I don't want to force this is one with a knowledge roll. I don't want to tell my player what you know about ancient Egyptian mythology or whatever. But the liner notes of an album once you read about people removing their own hearts. And as a way of weighing it against the scale or the feather of Bod or whatever the hell it is. But he is completely detached from himself. His soul, the thing that you normally would affect his psyche, is not in his body.
Well, that's great because that's really kind of my only tricks. So
complete success, though. You do know it's in the building.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
we're gonna roll into
the
something.
Rage monster that is out of control and point it in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I may try to do that, but I'm gonna roll into another less spooky song. Still vampire themed. I don't know what I'm gonna do right now, but.
All right,
Reg.
Right. Reggie is going off to the side, not leaving. He's just sort of hanging out at the bar now, and with Susie apparently whispering sweet nothings in her ear, and that will probably wrap that up before the three of you can probably. I think the fun of this game is to interact with one another. Lex, you can feel free to step off the stage for a minute if you want.
Yeah, I'll have the band continue, and I'll step off the stage and approach Meriwether and Charlie. Hopefully they haven't killed each other yet.
I think I just did my speech about how I'm not afraid of him and he's a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
I think, does Meriwether have a follow-up to that? To their
I feel like that was you lining up about to do something. I don't think he has if you want we can yada yada yada, you're what did you call what did you say it was I'm a bastard. Okay, so Meriwether is just yes, I know exactly what I am. You still need to calm down right now. You realize where you are. Look around you. This is public. This is...
Could I make another self-control roll, Frank? Does that make sense?
You can. Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. We'll see. Hold on if I can get my character sheet to move.
I'll remind everyone, because again, we're learning this game as we go, and we had a very short time to play it. You spend a point of willpower before you roll, you get a success.
How often
I have
does
to do it
willpower come
before
back?
I roll?
Whenever you have to, it's sort of do you want to spend it? Every time you act within your nature, you're supposed to get another point of willpower. So if you do a thing, you're this is who I am. And yeah.
All right, I'll spend a willpower on this because I want to succeed. So I get 1 success, and that's good because I rolled really bad. Like, I didn't even hit the 6 mark for anything. So I do get 1 success.
Yeah. All right. So, by force of will, you can stop yourself from attacking. You do notice that a lot of the police that were guards, a lot of the guards, we'll just call them that, have seemed to have left, possibly because of the way they were just yelled at by Merriweather. There's a lot more people in here, a lot more witnesses, a lot more unruly because there's no guards telling people where to go and what to do. So yeah, this is a weird situation, a weird place to have this out.
Lex will come up to Charlie and say, listen, I think there's something important that you need to do right now.
And what is that exactly?
Well, Reginald's heart is in the building somewhere, and I think you should go shoot it. It's probably in a jar.
Sounds like a great idea. Do you know where it is?
Nope.
You
in the building.
At this moment, you see that the doors to the room is the big hall is filling up with people, and as there's getting less and less room to kind of comfortably move, it's still okay. It's not, people are sardined in. They're not like fully entranced. Most of them are just like slightly in awe of this sexy vampire party. You notice that people have been blocking the doors and closing them one by one. People wearing robes.
All right, I'm gonna slip towards the nearest open door. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna say, Lex, you have a way of locating this heart?
Do I, Frank?
No, not specifically. You rolled so well in your, your reach out to him. You have a strong suspicion that this is what's happening, but nothing specific.
I'm gonna say I don't have any way to track it down.
All right, where do you think
I'm
guessing
it's
best?
in that giant pyramid thing that they
built. Where do you think you'll work best, here or out? Because our window's closing and we gotta pick a place to be.
Well, the show must go on.
All right, and Charlie's gonna slip out.
Okay. So as you go towards the nearest exit that seems to still be open, a cultist steps in, puts the lock on the door, and you see that it is, I think his name was Ronaldo, the cultist that you spoke to. Mm-hmm. And try to get on your side. He comes in and he shuts the door behind him. And he looks at you and he says, I'm sorry.
I don't want to have to hurt you.
I don't want to be hurt, but I don't think this is going to go well for you. And he looks over your shoulder back to the other crowd. I'm trying to keep you guys together just a little while longer.
Yeah, sure. That's
more interaction with each other. And Reggie approaches. Hello, Merriweather. What wonderful party. I didn't think you were going to pull it off.
How could you think otherwise? Have you met me? Of course this was going to go off.
And I'm going to bow to him.
You were
and
a delight.
I'm say, I pulled it off.
100%. 100%.
He's right.
What is a party without the band?
Of course. Lex, you're always a delight. Thank you so much. You really do touch my heart. He laughs as if there was a joke that only he gets.
No, I got it.
The three of you just go, I remember how much I hate this character now. I absolutely forgot how much I hate him. All right. Yeah. Anyways, you touched my heart. And Charlie, hello. Well, I would like to thank you all for bringing so many people to our as yet unopened establishment. What's going to happen next is going to be very disturbing, but as an act of good faith, I'm prepared to let the three of you go so you don't have to witness the unpleasantness. There's a scream coming from the crowd. As one cultist slits the throat of a person and blood gushes everywhere. And then slowly but surely other cultists are following suit. You can interact on this as soon as possible. I'm just trying to, build this out and get us through it. Yes, so as a good act of good faith, and maybe you'll take me up on my offer, the three of you, you can leave. The sirens in the background, all appropriate.
Merryweather immediately starts looking for Lucius to find out where he is.
He is, I think you just finished. He's probably just right away from you, keeping a little distant from the fight that happened a minute ago between you and Charlie.
I'm immediately going and standing in. Like, I'm kind of bridging I'm going to take a step to put myself casually. I'd like to do it. Hopefully I'm not being noticed that I'm blocking this particular person, but I want to put myself between the two of them. Like, should I do a roll for that? Just to like slide so that he doesn't necessarily notice that I'm doing it, but that would be.
We can, you can roll. Make it a manipulation.
I was gonna say manipulation.
Yeah.
And
manipulate.
Let's see, what else would make sense
etiquette?
with that?
No, I don't know.
I'll do manipulation etiquette. Why not? I'm trying to maintain like a formal.
Yeah, if you're still pulling off, you've been friendly with him the entire time. That's fine if you want to do that.
Sure, manipulation etiquette. Where is?
Yeah. While that roll is being rolled, other people are doing.
I'm gonna run back to the stage.
See, I want to kill Reginald, but at the same time, I feel like I'm better served trying to protect the people at the party.
Yeah,
this is a tough choice.
Humans. So
real quick,
I think
what's the difficulty? Sorry, I just want to hit the button.
It would be 6. I keep bouncing back and forth on 6 and 7, but 6 is good.
I got 1 success.
Okay. You think you're being nice and friendly with it. You think you've done a fairly good job. As long as he's not, really interested in sticking it to you, he probably will just let you do this without.
Sure.
Just sort of the courtesy between two jerks. Mm-hmm. He's just going to let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So he watches you as you walk. He barely pays attention to Lex as Lex runs back to the stage. And Charlie is still like debating. So this is a monsters we are, less monsters we are debate, right? Because stay here, save lives, good. Leave, potentially save even more lives. But it depends. It really does depend on what's going on. So you gotta play that angle.
I guess the question Charlie's having is basically, is killing Reggie going to stop this, or is it just like killing him stopping future carnage? I guess. Like, how can I ask, how integral to the cult structure does Reggie seem to be?
From what you got from, I believe, Ronaldo, he is pretty vital. They all live in absolute terror of him. Like, he is immortal and cannot die. Which is another thing that's kind of messing with your head, because what's this about his heart being elsewhere? You would have shot him in the heart if you had known. If you had known. The other aspect of this is, as this is all happening before you, some people are being embraced after they're being killed. There are other cultists going around draining them of blood, and others that are feeding them blood. So there's something really horrible happening here on many different levels, and it's kind of a lot to deal with all at once. We could do this clockwise. Lex, what are you up to?
I take the lead on the band, and I'm going to whip up a frenetic song.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to turn the crowd on the vampires.
Good.
So I'm going to try to basically whip the crowd into a frenzy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go for it.
Okay. Now, this power doesn't seem to necessarily work on more than one person, but I don't know. I'm going to
I think it's.
try
I
to
think
affect more.
thematically, I know what you're going for, and high enough successes, then it will.
Okay.
Mary, you've defended Lucius. Is there any more you want to do with?
I'm essentially holding my action for anyone to try and do anything to Lucius. At which point, I'm ready to spring.
All right.
All right. So should I be rolling for my power here or for? Okay.
Your power.
That is charisma.
The band's going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's such a crowd that it's not even clear what's happening for people who aren't near the slaughter. Is this part of the show?
Right.
Charlie, also get your thoughts together. I'm going to ask you next what you're going to do. Of course, it's going to be dependent on what other people do.
I got one whole success.
This is the interesting. Okay. So you're trying, but the band isn't backing you up. You're not feeling the emotion from the band. And there's so much else going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it basically, if a person in the crowd looks at you long enough, they might turn and start fighting, but they're one person. And then everybody else who's in the between it's not doing enough. Although some people are now fleeing from the vampire carnage because they know that this isn't part of the show, or not know, but they're afraid that this isn't part of the show. All right, I think we need a moment for everyone to kind of get together. Merriweather, sorry, this is Reginald speaking. Merriweather, I don't intend on harming anyone you don't want me to harm. That's important to you. I mean, we all need staff. I understand that. I'm not uncivilized. Charlie, you might want to get Lex off the stage before I have him killed just for trying to do what he's trying to do. It's bad enough he tried it on me. This is your chance to leave. Your last chance.
Charlie is going to leave. She's just going to turn, head towards Ronaldo, and gesture to the door.
And Reggie kind of gives a nod, and Ronaldo opens it up like crestfallen. Both that he has to do this, and maybe a little bit because he sees you just sort of like abandoning all these people. And he just opens the door and lets you in.
I would like to give Reynaldo a knowing look, since like just between the two of us. Like I have something planned.
A cowboy wink, like I got you, kid. Like
yeah,
yeah. Like, all right. I don't want this to be a roll. Yeah. So you go. Oh. Yeah. If he survives this game and he gets the call out after you, like Shane, like the end of Shane, I don't know if he knows that reference.
I don't get it.
Charlie, I'll send you a YouTube link. It's not all right. So yeah, Charlie is leaving. Before we deal with that, Merriweather, what about you?
I think Merriweather at this point knows that Charlie's gone off because it was the plan before. Charlie's now just got an opportunity to go find the heart. So
yeah, this guy literally just handed you the reason to
100. Well, and I think he's under the assumption that Charlie's just going to leave, and I think Merriweather knows way better than that. So Merriweather leans heavy into everything in order to into this whole bit, so to not throw anything off, and says, how can we serve you? Like, sure.
An interesting question.
If you are granting the types of protections and services that you and granted the same sort of respect that you seem to have given me before, I'll gladly stay here with you. I'm so ready to move on from the prince.
He puts a hand over your shoulder and walks you towards the stage because he's still concerned with Lex, who's on stage trying. He says, "Well, I'm glad you asked. Honestly, the soldiers, they're beyond me. I don't quite understand them." They sort of gesturing back at Charlie. The priests, on the other hand, need to be put in their place, and then there's you and I, the politicians, the kings, the pharaoh. I don't plan on leading the city. I mean, frankly, I plan on burning the city down to the ground with my army of undead, newly created vampires. But beyond that, I think maybe you should be in charge. And what's left once we're done here.
If you think that I would be best served as being King of the Ashes, I guess that's worth doing, but I feel like I could be way of more service to you on the road in your travels as you go place to place.
Well, by King of the Ashes, we're being a little hysterical here. A few, 100, maybe 200 in this space, vampires sprung up overnight, blood hungry, out to kill mortals. The thing that'll be in ashes is the Masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of humanity will be mostly intact, and
I
understand.
I'm more talking about if we do this here and I'm left in charge of here, what tourist destination does this place become if everybody has been eaten or turned? He puts his fingers out.
I'm sorry, continue. He's interrupting, but I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, go for it. And he can interrupt.
While you're speaking, he kind of gestures to somebody and he snaps his fingers to bring somebody over, and Susie's being drugged closer to you. Mm-hmm. She is being dragged against her will.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is, of course, Merryweather is not okay with that, but that's fine. We'll keep going.
Yeah. Tourist destinations. I don't really have an eye for this sort of stuff. I don't really think our Lord will care about tourist destinations. But
I'm just worried about a finite argument. I'm just worried about a finite food supply. Right? Like we have to have, this is a place that people come to, not a place that a lot of people stay. So once they're here, if they can't leave to come back later or to bring other people or to tell them how good it is, I don't know how many people are going to actually arrive.
So I think the problem here, Merryweather, is that you still think the world after this will be the mortal world, and it won't be. To prove your commitment here, and I'll keep you your servant, but this one has to go. She's like, Susie's like, why, Merryweather? What is this about?
Yeah, I don't understand. You just said that you would take care of anyone I care about would be safe, and I care deeply about the person who's going to be writing the review for this party. I care so deeply about them. They are the most important part. They are the product which I sell.
I'm telling you should change markets, or else kill her gruesomely. Get Lex the hell off the stage before he actually succeeds at something, and then you can leave. And he's just waiting.
Sure, I think he says, well, if I get to choose the order, and he heads up on stage to go talk to Lex.
He's gonna allow that. He's gonna allow that. That would be fine. Charlie, you're out, and what's your plan?
I gotta find this heart and. Fuck, I don't know shit about this. What do you think would make more sense? Investigation or medicine? Or maybe
I know where his heart is. Get his chest. No.
Maybe like survival, like maybe I can sniff it out with my vampire.
No, it's intelligence investigation or possibly intelligence occult. But I think for you, intelligence investigation makes more sense, right?
I don't got a cult at all, so...
Yeah. And the difficulty is 7.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is not... Go ahead.
The suffering. Yeah, Merryweather and Lex, as we're waiting for dice to be selected, what are you... Yeah, you're on stage with Lex.
Yeah, my band is like abandoning the stage at this point, and I've grabbed one of their guitars, and I'm coming back up to the front mic solo.
This is like that scene in the Titanic where there's the ship is sinking, but your band plays on.
3 successes!
Yes!
I am so good at finding people's hearts!
Yeah. Very specific.
There's like a little
but
plaque
yes.
by the elevator, heart room. No.
Yeah.
Heart room? No, it's like, this is floor 4, and the heart has 4 chambers. Something
What's a
like
chamber
that.
if not a bedroom?
There are riddles strewn across the walls, but I can solve these riddles.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Great. All right, let's.
No,
before
seriously, I
get
would
to.
no. Please, when we get
I'm
to my
looking something
turn,
up
please
for a specific
describe how I found this heart.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, Mary, you're on stage with Lex. Go through that while I look up the word I keep forgetting.
So he's gonna let Meriwether play, but he's gonna kind of go behind him and like look like he's whisper in his ear. But while Lex is playing, so they can't really hear what I'm saying. But I want it to emote that I'm trying to talk him down and calm him down. But what I'm actually saying is like, all right, so what's the play here? We have about 25 seconds, maybe at most, before they're gonna start killing more people and killing Susie. Where do we go from here?
Lex will turn to you. He'll say in a low voice, away from the mic, so that not everybody in the room can hear him. I've tried, Reginald. I've tried the crowd. I think I got to go after these vampires.
All right,
his minions.
Then I'll try and distract him.
All right, so at this moment, Charlie, you're out in the hallway. You're trying to figure out how do you even begin to search this entire giant hotel for this room, and you see a directory of all the different rooms, and one of them is called. There are different halls for like different events, and one of them is called the Hall of Maat, MAAT.
Order.
Like the place where you get your hearts measured against a feather on a scale in ancient Egyptian mythology. And I would like to know how Charlie knows this in as like poppy kind of way as possible. Like,
oh
it can't
my god! Like, you know how popular Egyptology was in the 1800s. Like, it was pop culture. Like, if you didn't know shit about Egypt, you didn't know shit. So, like, there's all kinds of weird, like, obscure Egyptian rules and traditions that, like, were part of popular culture when she was young that, you know, people in their 20s today probably wouldn't know, but she does because of when she grew up.
All right, I love this. Yes, as minus 42 says, it was all over the gram back then, but the gram must have been like penny dreadfuls or like a little peep. All right,
telegraph.
Great. So yeah, it really is like the most dumb pop culture reference, and it's the stupidest place to hide it. But something tells you this guy,
he's a moron. I've been saying he's a moron for a really long time, and this just proves it. So
yeah, all right. So you are going to head to the Hall of Maat. Back on stage, Meriwether and Lex. You have a plan, but here's the deal: unless you pull something miraculous out, he's expecting one of two things to happen: Lex to stop doing this thing, or Meriwether to prove his loyalty and that he's on the same page as the rest of the cultists by killing the hell out of this woman. You don't have to do either of those two things, but you gotta do something interesting. What's the plan?
Part of me wants to Scooby-Doo the hell out of this and pick up the drums and just start playing along with you to help defeat the villain. I don't feel like that's Merryweather's play though. I think Merryweather is going to hop off the stage, just like slink out from behind Lex. Walk off, just like take one step, just drop off the stage, start moving up, and he's gonna go grab Susie. He's gonna take her, give her like bend her, give like a dip, like he's dancing with her, dip, expose the neck, and then he's going to draw his pink pistol that he had from before in his jacket pocket, and he's going to shoot Reginald.
All right. Very dramatic. All right. So he's sort of impressed with the sweeping gesture of killing her in front of all these screaming people. And then you pull the pistol. So roll Dex Firearms.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Where's the things? Dex Firearms. And what's the difficulty on this gonna be?
It's gonna be 6. Gotta remember when it's 6 and 7. My Achilles tendon. Achilles heel.
1 success? Is that what it says? Yeah.
All right. Okay, you know what? That's gonna hit because we didn't do the damage on your weapon. What kind of pistol was it?
Light, whatever. I'm not sure. Some small.
Light pistol.
Not like a Derringer or anything, but
there's a whole other for damage on this. All right, roll 66. Roll 46. Roll
all right, so that's,
and do not remove ones, do not re-rolls 10s.
Okay, so it's /roll D space.
I think it's /roll space 6D10.
6D10.
I keep saying 6. I mean to say 4. I'm sorry.
Well, subtract the two lowest, maybe then.
More powerful.
You want me to re-roll it?
Yeah, do that.
4D10.
Yeah.
4D10.
That was still pretty good.
Okay, I'll take it.
It's 26 damage for our podcast listeners.
Well, it's how many 6s did you roll?
1 6
or higher.
6, a 9, and 8, so
or
3.
higher.
Three successes.
Okay. It's all like that. So 3 successes. You take him out and you shoot him. This is gonna be like, it wouldn't be a fatal shot. It would be a really serious shot. Where do you want to shoot him? Let's actually, where do you want to shoot him?
Kneecap.
Okay. This game is stupid where it doesn't actually do cold shots, and whether that will stop him or not. How about for dramatic effect? Do you mind shooting him in the chest?
Yeah, let's do it. I shoot him right in the chest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's confirm that he doesn't have a heart. It literally all does the same thing. It just moves his damage track. You shoot in the chest, and it's a phosphorus round, and this would have done super amount of damage on any vampire who had a heart in their chest, and instead there's a gaping wound where the heart should be. He seems very upset by the injury, but is still just standing there staring daggers at you, offended almost.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to try to do something. He is going to attempt to kill Susie and you, or at least kill Susie into you. He takes out his cane and attempts to impale her with it. And I cannot get to the right screen because there we go.
Do I get any sort of a pose on this? I hope. Fingers for Susie's sake. Fingers crossed.
we will. Would you get a proposed? Yeah, you can theoretically. Hold on. Let's see how much he rolls first. You did not spend willpower for this. Okay. So she's mortal. That would cause a lot of damage to her. That was 4 successes. So he's going to try to impale her with the sword cane and get you too. That would probably cause a lasting injury on her, cripple her. But you can attempt to push her away or do something else. That would be your action, and it would leave you a little bit vulnerable, though.
Yeah, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to try and turn her away from the blow, and I'll take it glancing if I have to, turn kind of myself into it. Mm-hmm. So that, using my speed, I'm basically trying to pull her around me, away from the blade coming in. So, and let's roll that and see whatever we think that would be, and see how that goes, and then we can describe what happens.
That would be a dex dodge.
Dex dodge. Got it.
Yeah. This isn't the worst combat system I've ever experienced, but when you're very into narrative combat systems, which is now my preferred cup of tea, it's not quite crunchy enough for it to be what's the flanking bonus, But it's not streamlined enough where it feels good. Ooh, nice. 4 successes.
4 successes.
Right. You that blade doesn't go near either of you. It maybe rips through your jacket instead of, but it could have hurt you. So it looks really impressive that you put your body in harm's way. He is going to attempt to attack you when you are exposed as a freebie, and I'm going to try doing that right now. Give me 1 second. Let's see.
Yeah, it's hard in podcast land to do combat because
because it slows everything
in down general, and it is actual play. Okay, he does 3 dice of damage to you with his silver sword, which does no additional damage for a vampire, but he is cool, and he needs to have a silver sword. He does not think he should have picked better. So what you would do right now is roll your stamina. Difficulty
so is it just? So how do I do that? Let's see. My stamina is 2. So do I just roll 2d10?
Yeah, roll 2d10. Yeah. And you're trying to absorb 3 hits on that, so you're gonna need at least as many successes as you can get. You got 1. So 2 went through. You see your damage track. You see your damage track on the bottom right. You would do 2 check marks. So you're now, if I could look at my character sheet real quick, you are hurt.
Okay, perfect.
If he's normal, the amount of damage you just did to him, if he is normal, he might be wounded. But again, he's been acting very odd without that hole, with that hole in his chest. All right, let's check in with Lex at this time. Lex, what are you doing?
Sure. So I'm starting in on an original song now. I'm improvising it up on the spot, and it is creepy as hell, and it's about how everybody here is about to get eaten by the vampires of Vegas. I'm aiming this.
Hey, I like it. We got a title.
I'm aiming this at the cultists.
I love this. I also love the fact that this came out way late. This comment Telegram, which is a reference to the Instagram. Oh, so boo earns. Boo earns.
All right. So I'm rolling again. Charisma plus empathy to inspire fear. As my last-ditched attempt. What's my difficulty on this?
To inspire fear in who? The vampires?
Yeah.
They are most of them are pretty much in a feeding frenzy, so we will say 5. Yeah.
5?
Yes.
Okay. So
they're in full ritual ritual mode. They're letting their blood. They're spilling their blood into people. They're pretty insane to begin with at this point. And
Sure.
you got 2 successes.
2 successes.
2 successes. So as the fever pitch of the music hits, you can see some of the vampires, especially the ones who are getting a little weak. The people who are, the new recruits of the cultists, they're beginning to get paranoid and afraid. They're staring over. They're looking at these other vampires that are feeding on the humans, while they're the ones who are letting their blood to feed the humans. This is really disgusting. They are panicking. And they are, actually, the panic is beginning to grow in them, and you could tell that it's happening. So if you're lucky, you're going to get the underling cultists attacking the and trying to flee from the older cultists, who are the ones who are doing all the killing.
Yeah, that's what I'm after.
Good. All right, Charlie, outside in the hallway, you're going to the hallway of Mott.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm rolling for a sneak attack. Depending on how many successes I get. 1, 2, 2. Nothing. Okay. So make a perception alertness roll. DC 6. Difficulty 6.
Not my best skill.
You really just need to get more than 2 successes.
So remind me to tell you.
Yeah, this is the melody I.
Oh, Vampires of Vegas. Yeah. Remind me to tell you sometime why I stopped playing this game. So
I got 1 success, but that's because I rolled 2 dice. So
that's pretty good. So 1 round of damage. Roll your stamina right now. Sorry. Oof.
Okay.
So crunchy. We might have to narrate up some of these rolls and move forward. I would feel worse if this were 5th edition Vampire. If we were playing their newest Vampire and we were still like, ugh. But this is the version that they have tried to fix at least 4 times. So.
Stamina plus what?
Just stamina. Just stamina. So however many dice you have. No, just stamina. Yeah.
Okay.
This is called a soak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. I'll give it to you anyways.
2 successes.
2 successes.
All right. So as you're walking through the hallway, you get you sense something just a split second before it happens. You get shot by a high caliber bullet. It is from a rifle. And if you didn't move, it would have hurt a lot more. Instead, you just have 1 damage track in your health in the bottom right-hand corner. And you turn around to see who it is and draw your weapons, I assume. You see a man wearing a flak suit, pretty much all in black, visible fangs, hungry, panting very deeply as if he had been starved. And he looks familiar. He is the guard, the hitman who you fought in that alley when he thought you were a big deal or what have you for being a vampire, and he was just the ghoul. But apparently he's not a ghoul anymore. He has been given the embrace, and he's here for revenge.
That's right. I'm going to try and run past him, essentially.
Wait! Yes,
I've got a monologue ready and everything.
He did. He had something going. It's going to be Dex Athletics, and really, it's really. I just want to see how much you kick his ass.
Let's see. Roll them bones. Come on. 2 successes. Ouch.
Nice.
Not what I was hoping for.
He, however, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. So he barely. So you run and you're going super fast, but he does manage to block you. He tackles you and trips you up. So even with celerity, you are just barely tripped up. But you can take your next action as if you hadn't just spent it running. So he's kind of on the. He's kind of prone with your legs in his hands. You're also kind of prone. This could become a beat 'em up situation. Whatever you'd like. What do you want to do?
How close am I to the Hall of Mott?
It was right outside the door.
Okay.
He was probably here as a guard as well.
So we're both on the. From what I'm understanding, we're both on the floor. He's wrapped around my legs.
Yeah.
I want to kick him into the door so that he opens it for me.
All right. That would be Dex Brawl.
All right.
But you're also
another thing I'm good at. So basically what I'm doing is I kick my legs up and fling him into the doorway is what I'm imagining. And that's 4 successes.
Sweet. All right, he goes flying into the doorway. The lights, because there's a little motion thing that turns lights on automatically, open up in this room. The door was reinforced. It was barred, so it would have been hard to get into. But his body as a battering ram helps. There is a pedestal in the middle of the room. On top of the pedestal is a canoptic jar. And on the jar is a little anatomical heart.
What a moron.
The guard says, "No, you're not going to deny me this. We're going to have a shootout, and I'm going to show you how good I am." And he puts his hand to his side as if to pull up his revolver as he's kind of like weak on his feet. We're going to leave that for a moment. Yeah. Merriweather, you just shot Reginald in the heart. And he acts like you just shot him in the heart.
Mm-hmm. Shot through the heart. And you know what?
Yeah, Merriweather, in fact, is to blame. So I think he just kind of looks at the gun, kind of quizzically looks back and says, like, "How did you do that?"
All right. You're going to make me turn into a giant snake, aren't you?
You don't have to.
Cultist behavior.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I'm delighted by this development.
His eyes turn into dagger slit serpent eyes.
Oh God!
He's going to. This is so stupid. What is your willpower, Barry?
My willpower, I think it's a 4.
Okay. Well, holy what? Wow, that's not great.
What's wrong with that?
His difficulty is 4. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see what happens. No, he still has to transform. Never mind. He is trying to finish turning into a giant snake. He is going. When you look at his eyes, for a moment, it is both perplexing that he's doing this, but also truly intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my!
Oh my God! All right.
4 successes.
He says, "Merriweather, finish the job. Kill her." You are compelled to do so, but you also it's a fear compulsion. So you can do self-control or courage to resist this urge. You got to do something. You can't just stall. It's got to be something. Either you're going to kill her and remove the compulsion from you, or you're going to have to do something equally violent elsewhere.
I'm going to shoot myself in the foot.
Okay.
I'm going to harm myself in order to hopefully get myself out of this trance. What am I? I'm just doing firearm sticks again.
No, if you're not going to miss. But
Yeah,
do
I
a
shoot myself.
self-control.
I shoot myself in the foot.
Do a self-control just so that we know that you can.
It's roll.
I'm going to say the difficulty is your willpower as well.
So I don't know how I put this in then. Because do roll. I have roll space 3d10 because that's my courage.
Yeah,
and then I don't know how to put in my willpower.
We just look at
don't worry about
the
that.
roll. You could also, once again, spend willpower. You could always spend willpower to just do it. That's a big part of the fun of this game is just to tell.
I'll spend a fuck. Why not at this point? I'll spend a willpower to just succeed at this roll.
All right, I'm going to try to push forward a little bit more without it being so crunchy. You shoot yourself with the foot, and it hurts. It's a phosphorus round. It probably does a decent amount of damage to your foot.
Am I going up to injured? Move myself on the track to injured or wounded?
Yeah, I would say at least, but we'll narrate this a little bit. You've hurt yourself severely, and you've broken out of the compulsion, and he has lost, other than turning into a giant snake, he has lost the ability to convince you to do horrible things to people. So he's just now going to do horrible things in himself until somebody stops him. Lex, what any other actions you want to do, Merryweather? Anything else you want to do at this point? You just shot yourself in the foot. Susie is screaming and looks at your foot.
I yell for Lucius to come grab her and kind of give them like a get out of here, like whatever I can to signal to run. You know, I know that everything's locked, but let's get away.
All right. Awesome. Lucius comes, sweeps her away, and runs.
I'm going to rush up and smash this giant snake with my guitar.
He's still a person now. He's turning into a giant snake. Let's not be
I'm going to hit him.
Okay, cool. That would be a Dex brawl.
Yeah, which I'm terrible at.
Great. So to give Merryweather a little bit of a chance to choose scenery, Lucius listens. He comes in, he grabs Susie. Susie looks back over her shoulder. She is going crazy from what she is witnessing. Blood everywhere, and somehow the two of them make it to near one of the exits.
Okay, perfect.
What were you gonna say?
We got her gone. It's fine. I was gonna calm her down narratively, but we don't need to do that because she's already gone. She went off.
Totally uncharacteristically, I managed to hit him with 3 successes.
El Cabong, another dated reference. Also another cowboy. But good. Yes, you how many successes did you get to hit him?
3.
Good. And you can do damage. What is the damage of a guitar? I'm going to say that's 4d10 plus 3. So you could do no, no, it's not really an actual weapon. It's improvised. 4d10 would be fine.
Okay. I roll 4d10.
Yeah. Let me pull up his character sheet.
I got 1 success that time.
Okay. And
well, I'm sure he's going to soak it, but
yeah, he's going to try. And he's not a snake yet, so he didn't soak it.
He didn't soak it.
Okay.
He just took it.
He's yet to become. He just thinks, oh God, it hurt more than it looked. That electric guitar, there's metal in that. Yeah, his plans are crumbling beneath him. If this makes another round or so, he will become a snake, and his goal is going to be to try to kill the two of you. And his people are basically ripping each other apart.
It's better than them ripping all the rest of the crowd apart. So that's
right.
Charlie.
100%.
All right. It's gonna be. He wants this to be a showdown.
It
doesn't matter though.
Put my hands on my 2 pistols, and I draw, and I shoot one at the jar.
I was so hoping
shooting
for that.
at him. I'm not going to shoot him. I'm going to shoot the jar.
Because the way this looks, you kicked him in through the door. He was in first, so when he stands up, he's in front of the jar. Perfect. Okay. This is going to be Dex Firearms.
Right.
The difficulty will be 6.
I assume that he is going to shoot me while I'm doing this, and I am okay with that.
Awesome.
I wish I didn't have to hit so many buttons. 2 successes. I shoot the jar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You shot the jar. It cracks in half, and you could feel like you at least hit or nicked, or like it hit. It didn't destroy, but it hit whatever object was inside the jar.
Nice.
He shoots at you.
Ooh. 3 successes,
4.
it looks like.
4 successes.
No, he got a 1.
Yes,
so
3 successes. Yeah. We're on a slight delay. 3 successes. Yeah. Yes, he hits you. You're going to try to well, actually you can soak this damage. So take 3 aggravated damage. Phosphorus round. So just check off 3 blocks from your health. 3 additional blocks. What are you at now?
I am wounded.
Okay. So he delivers a serious wound to you, which you can, heal if you have enough time for it. And the jar behind him shatters, and the thing inside the jar gets hit. Upstairs in the or wherever in the other location, yeah, it would be upstairs in the main room. Many people are dead. Some people are just bleeding out. They haven't died yet. And then cultists are turning against cultists as they rip at each other. And it's the cultists that are doing the most blood, who have lost the most blood, that are being the most aggressive. So they are actually being turned off pretty severely. At this point, he is stretching up large and looming before you two. He has the remains of an electric guitar sort of inside and around his clothes that he's slowly ripping out of. His eyes are daggers and are dagger slits. His teeth are long and dripping venom. And he says, "Now and sand and ash starts coming out of his mouth, and you don't think that's part of the transformation." He looks at his little T-Rex hands that haven't quite evolved off yet because he was in mid-transformation, and they're just pathetically trying to grab at the hole in his chest that is now leaking sand and ash. And he seems to be trying to say something very dramatic, but he doesn't have vocal cords anymore because he halfway turned into a giant snake. So this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened to him. He doesn't even get I'm gonna monologue as I die, because he's half snake man, and everything he sounds like a hiss and a gurgle. Yeah.
Lex is kind of cowering behind Merryweather at this point, so.
Merryweather is screaming in pain because of the no added weight on his foot. I think Merryweather just stares as he's getting bigger, kind of does the comical falling as he gets bigger, and I think he just looks to reload his gun, I don't know if we ever said how many. I don't know if we said how many bullets this thing carries or whatever, but he's fired the 2 off. I'm going to say it's like a Derringer. He's got 2 shots at a time, so I think he just pulls out and starts reloading.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Yeah, you're reloading.
Lex is actually going to bolt for the door, screaming for everyone to leave.
Okay, sounds good. You rush to the
left
door.
Wounded Merryweather. Perfect.
Yeah.
Anybody who's still mobile is running. Humans who are bleeding out and not dead yet are not running, but they're also not being attacked anymore because the cultists are now trying to fend off their own number. And as they see that their master is basically doing the world's worst Cobra Commander impression, that's a deep cup. They are also bolting as well. Thank you. Once a man. Exactly. G.I. Joe the movie. So there's a massive panic. You can hear sirens in the background. Police have been summoned.
Nice.
And people are running out. So we just have one more thing we have to resolve before we know where the 3 of you are going to end up being. Charlie, you took your shot. Did both shots go to the urn, or did one of them go to the guard?
No, I just shot the urn.
Okay. So he takes his shot. He looks behind him. He sees the urn broken. There's a moment where, like, is this guy gonna snap out of it? Right? Like, his cult leader is gone. He's not under the thrall of anyone. Is this going to be his moment where he could be like, thanks, and drop his weapons? He shoots. All right.
I am going to... Okay, so quick question. When I fed, did I just get like 1 blood point back? Or...
I think you only drank 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we just saw in the replay. It was 1 pint.
Then I'm going to use a celerity to shoot him before he shoots me.
Okay, yeah, we could actually do that. Why don't you roll your hold on. Back to my character. Sorry, just to make sure that this is fair. Perception awareness again.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just to see whether or not you can get the draw on him.
I hope. Come on, baby.
No.
-1 success.
All right. So he's still going to get his shot out. You can take 2 actions this round, but it will be after he shoots. That's your choice if you still want to take the 2 actions. So he rolled 1.
Is healing an action? Sorry, go ahead.
I think you can do healing in combat, or am I confusing this with werewolf? I don't think you could heal. No, I don't think you could heal at this point. And you would be going at a penalty now. Okay. You're wounded, so you have -2 to your rolls.
Mm-hmm. So he got 3 successes, you said?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll try and soak that. We'll see.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Why don't you roll soak? Roll your stamina.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait. These are the phosphorus rounds. The soak doesn't even really work.
Fuck. I got 3 successes.
That's good. What is your what's your dex dodge? What's your die pool for that?
My dex dodge is 3. So could we count that?
Roll 3, yeah. Roll 3 more dice, and then we'll that'll be the dodge instead. This is a crunchy system, like I said. So he shoots. Yeah. He may hit you. Right now, he's actually completely missed. But let's see. You can get completely out of the way. You can get completely out of the way, but you're still in a gunfight with him, unless you end this gunfight one way or another, and you've got the celerity action. So he got 3 successes, you got 3 successes. The bullets just kind of like miss each other, or his bullets kind of just narrowly miss you, but you're still in a gunfight.
All right, with the extra action, I think I'm gonna disarm him, because even if I shoot him, he's not gonna stop shooting at me. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did before, kick the gun out of his hand from the last time we fought.
You can.
Would that be dexterity brawl?
It would be dex brawl.
Oh, you're just gonna let me.
No, dex brawl would be to physically stop him in a fight. If you want to take advantage of your firearms, you can do a cold shot. So we could just narratively end this, and you shoot him to disarm him. You shoot the gun, something like that.
Yeah, I shoot the gun out of his hand.
Give you a little gunslinger action towards the end, as opposed to just rehashing what we've done. Okay. All right. Let's make sure that happens. The difficulty will be 7. So dexterity firearms. I see the intent of what you're.
Hold on. I accidentally put 77 instead of 7. So I got 3 successes.
Okay, great. So, he's shooting at you. He's outraged that you refuse to respect him enough to give him his final gunfight. And then, as your last action, even more disrespect. You're taking away his gun. How do you do it? Like, what happens? The gun probably gets destroyed. So, how do you narrate what's going on?
So Charlie dodges out of the way, and she shoots, and the gun goes flying out of his hand. Classic Western gunslinging action. And she's holding the smoking pistol.
Nice. I like how that played out. All right. So the 3 of you can touch base in the panic of the people running around. I think we should do a little bit of a wrap up. So do we want to get out of the building and then do a wrap up in character, or do we want to do this in the panic of running out of the building? Because I know that Charlie and Merriweather may not have the best of terms at the end of this. So maybe we should do this on the run, as it were. What do you think?
I think that's best.
Yeah. All right, crowds are leaving the building while other police officers are coming in. You see police officers being brazenly attacked by vampires, cultists, right? And it's pretty obvious. And they're being shot back, and it's a bloody mess. But at very least, it's not a massacre. During this, the 3 of you kind of run into each other on the way out of the respective places, or hobbling in the case of Merriweather and Charlie, actually. Take it away. What are you doing?
Did you see him become a snake?
Yes.
What?
He became a snake. He was a snake man. Like a snake man.
Like he got scaly, or
the whole 9. He elongated. He fanged out. It was gross. It was awesome, but it was gross.
But then he started bleeding sand.
Yes.
I did shoot a heart jar. I don't know if
you did. Good for you.
Yeah. I think
that explains everything.
I love how little you all have information on what happened exactly, but you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this all relates.
Yeah.
It makes
Art
sense.
Jar Snake Man, of course. We should get out of here. Before we get caught up any further in this than we already are. He's looking around for Lucius. He keeps looking for an eye for Lucius and Susie.
They Susie is with a bunch of police officers who are, or paramedics. They're trying to, tend to her hysteria in the middle of all the people who are dying of severe blood loss. But that's what you get when you have a lot of money. Lucius is, he's kept a distance from the authorities, as you have trained him to do. Yeah, it looks like people are dispersing and trying to get out of the way of whatever hysterical, horrible thing is happening in this place.
Well,
so
that was not the worst party I've ever been to.
Love it. All right. On that note, I think separating for the night is a good idea, and we could touch base with everybody individually and see what happens to them over the next couple of weeks and what have you. Charlie, first of all, what are you doing?
Well,
Charlie
needs some time to recover, not just from getting shot, but some pretty big betrayals going on.
Yeah.
That's a matter of perspective. I don't think Meriwether betrayed anything.
Well, she's definitely not friends with Meriwether anymore. And if he shows his face, she is going to state in no uncertain terms that she thinks he's despicable, and if he tries to pull shit like that again, she will kill him.
Cool.
I think, if that conversation were to happen, I think Meriwether would basically say, like, I understand that. I also understand that if you have a problem with the actions that I'm doing in the name of royalty, your problem should be your problem should start at the top with the royalty. This is you're talking about a citywide operation that's been going on for years, that you've participated in, whether you realized it or not, just because that was the norm. So we can change the royalty wants to change the methods. We can change the methods. I have no problem.
How does Meriwether try to reach out to Charlie to say this? This feels almost like a letter you're sending. Whether or not Charlie answers it is another thing.
Yeah. No, I think that he sends this. I think he sends Lucius. I think that because I think they know that that's an important person to him in more than just this is my property kind of level. So he sends Lucius himself, which is also an act of vulnerability on Meriwether's part, because he doesn't know that Charlie won't literally shoot the messenger, right? So I think he sends that letter and basically says, that's great, as long as I serve the prince, as long as this is the prince's territory, I'm going to be serving the prince in whatever capacity they ask me to. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. It's not a moral code thing. That's what we are. That's what this Camarilla is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Charlie sends back a very short reply. It just says, Archie's not going to be the prince much longer.
Good. I think when Lucius returns with the reply, actually even perhaps before this, one of the interesting things I think is that you left, and it's one of the vague things that we may not know what happens because we're not gonna play to find out. But you left a newly created vampire in the form of McCormick, Officer McCormick, and Lucius is doing your business, so he's going back and forth from office to office. There is a good chance he gets attacked by McCormick, and I think that would be an interesting scenario to see if it ever worked out that way, but it's one of the many loose threads we're never going to really know, because there is a danger. There's basically a monster back in the office that has been neglected, that you created, and a precious person.
But also so, and that Merryweather's also, I mean, that Lucius is quite aware of, because
there's also what Lucius wants out of this relationship,
That's
which
true too.
You think
We never
it's
explored.
be embraced. There's a lot of interesting things to unpack there. Charlie, are you spending time with your girlfriend, or are you holed up somewhere out of the city? Maybe even with like out in the woods, or not in the woods, but in the gypsum mines or anything like that?
I think Charlie's recovery time is probably spent with her girlfriend. Like,
Okay.
I mean, besides like live blood, which her girlfriend will provide when she needs it, she usually drinks like donated blood and stuff like that. Which
you might
her girlfriend,
you might need it while you're recuperating, but that's exactly the time where it's like, a serious moment. And that's cool.
right?
All right. Lex, what is Lex doing after all this?
Well, first he's going to go to a debauched party the next night, replenish his blood. But then he wants to try to reach out to his two friends and see if he can get them to reconcile. So he's going to try to get them to come together over a poker game, which is our typical.
Is it going to be one of those like one person isn't told about the invite from the other person, that the other person will be there? 3 of them are going to be there.
Something Lex would do,
like a parrot trap.
Yeah.
Lex parent traps us. Yes.
So there's a moment. We'll make this real quick. There's a moment towards the late at night where you're all gathering around the poker table. Merryweather and Charlie see each other and see kind of Lex at the table waiting, like so many Haley Mills. I forgot the name of the person who did the remake, or that person. What's her name? She's super famous.
Was it
Anyways,
Lindsay Lohan?
Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, Haley Mills or Lindsay Lohan. Anyways, Lex is sitting there as either or. And the 3 of you are together momentarily. Do you tolerate each other's presence?
Well, Charlie only said she'd kill him if she found out that he was still murdering people for the prince, essentially. So she will not kill him.
Good to know. Merryweather, are you not killing anybody?
Merryweather has 7 cards in his hand.
It's endearing. All right. And as this very familiar scene opens up in front of our audience, 3 people walk up to the table, and one man who looks familiar to, I guess, again, the audience. Charlie, you've seen him once before, many, many years ago, when you were first talking to Archie about unionization. The man walks up to you and says, "So, which one of the 3 of you is in charge now that we're going to give Archie the axe?" Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I will look up at the 2 of them. Clearly, it's not me.
Yeah.
Things didn't just quiet down for no reason. We stepped in and helped out, and we will make sure that the Masquerade is kept. But we need a new prince in charge, and there's limited people out there. So, anybody interested in taking up the offer?
Merryweather, of course, immediately raises his hand.
Charlie reaches out and puts his hand down.
What I like about this, and he points to the 2 of you, what I like about this is it reminds me of the other guy. Remember, Archie was in charge and you didn't like that either. What was your name again?
Charlie Clark.
Charlie Clark. Interested in being a prince?
I guess if there's no one better suited to the job, I'll take it.
All right. Well, listen, whatever the family can do to help you people out, we're going to be behind you no matter what. Money, blood, I guess snake exterminators, whatever it takes. We'll be there.
I think we exterminated the last snake ourselves.
You never
Yeah,
know.
that
These
was
people
sort of my job.
Good. Well, the three of you discuss it amongst yourselves. Figure it out. Figure out how you want to do it. This is Vegas. It's loose. We'll figure something out, and it'll be nice and fun. And we'll keep the engine running. Right?
Charlie glares at him.
Charlie glares at him.
We'll figure something out. And that's it. So I think that's it. That's our game. Woo! Woohoo! That was fun. Wow. Where do you think? I thought that was a lot of fun. Actually, the characters in the story was amazing. Yeah. I really enjoyed the story. Where I feel like this whole thing grinds to a halt is the mechanics of the game we're playing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not trying to crap on it. We're trying to force these things into about an hour, so that's a little difficult. Most game sessions aren't that short, but like it's so crunchy. You want these to be sweeping moments of I have a round of combat and it is resolved.
Yeah.
As opposed to like action reaction, action reaction, action reaction.
Yeah.
What did you think? Let's do our quick post-mortem before we wrap up and talk about what we're going to be doing next.
I had a lot of fun with Vampire.
Yeah.
I liked the characters. I thought we all had like really unique skills that sort of blended with each other. I do feel like the combat was crunchy, but like it wasn't really a problem until like the climax, which unfortunately it was a problem during the climax.
Yeah, I wish we had because like with superpowers, I think those when they come in, they're pretty dramatic. You could see somebody manipulating someone's emotion. The virtues were all fun. The stuff that Merriweather has done, riding the fence, and the rival of Clark, and even of Charlie is like it was really cool to see that play out. I wish there was just a way of doing that dramatically with guns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and punching people. And I also like hats off for Lex every time using that was probably the most fun use of Dementus I've ever heard of or seen. It came in handy. Like that was the most where like crunchy it worked well when you worked it against Archie and you made him frenzy right before he was about to have his dominate session of that was perfect. That was where it like the game really worked well with it with the interplay of powers. But I did have fun running it, and I would never do this again. I might be tempted. Like I've always been hesitant of trying one of those file the serial number off World of Darkness games, but I might be interested in doing a World of Darkness type story game kind of thing. So what are we doing next?
It's a good question. So I only have so many more weeks that I can do this because I have to go to short hiatus during the summer. So I have probably June, whatever the first week of July, after like the 8th or whatever, I'm out for a while. So we have like 3 weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we could do like short campaign of something fun. We could do a couple of one. Like we could. I think that I know we've been talking about it in private, but I think the 200 word RPG challenge that's happened in the past has a plethora of awesome things in there that we could play with.
Well,
and a lot of them take less than a couple sentences. I know we were talking about "Fuck It's Dracula" as a
thematically appropriate.
The "Fuck It's Dracula," which is, for those who don't know, a 200 word RPG challenge. I I don't know if it was the winner, but definitely like a fan favorite. That is basically Dracula in space.
Yeah. And I think that would be fun to do for the interim while we're waiting. For our next session, because I do believe we were going to do Tears of a Machine after that.
Yes, Russell Collins is coming to do Tears of the Machine second edition for us right after that. So I'm very excited about that. So one shots I think beforehand would be perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely. I would love to play Oh Fuck It's Dracula. Like I'm just excited after reading the 200-word RPG. I'm excited because everything sounds like it would be a hilarious romp.
Honestly, I kind of want to play these characters in that game. It's the future.
Space future.
We're in space future, and oh fuck, it's Dracula.
It's Dracula.
Because honestly, you guys basically, oh fuck, it's Snake Man, giant Snake Man.
See, the problem with Snake Man is that he wasn't much of a threat because I was already shooting his heart. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The problem with Snake Man was that he was a complete and utter douchebag.
He was. Yeah. He was very much. And every step, this is one of the things about this game is I got to keep people together long enough so that we don't have 3-hour session with everyone having a little bit of stage time, which I don't know how well I did on this in the final chapter, but every time I'm all right, it's a moral conundrum. Either Merryweather's going to kill one person so that he could save other people, or Merryweather's going to shoot the guy and then shoot his foot. And then I'm like, what? All right, perfect. Yeah. Let's keep doing this. So I thought we got a binary choice, but it almost never became a binary choice. The closest was when Charlie was like, okay, I'll go for the door, and gave the wink. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, good. That at least one person's out trying to find the heart. That's okay. But everything else was just amazing. And he was perplexed the entire time by Lex and Merryweather, which was perfect.
Yeah.
Every time, every step.
I'm just so delighted by the fact that he was like, here's the door. And Charlie took the door and he was like, well, I don't have to worry about her anymore.
Yeah.
Never seeing her again.
He worked heart puns in.
Yep.
He's such an asshole. He deserved so much death. And literally picked the top, 2 rounds earlier, trying to turn into a snake may have had an impact. But he kept trying other things. He was like, all right, this is going to work. No, all right, screw it. This is going to work. All right, no, that is going to work. I'm turning into a giant snake. And then in mid-transformation, his heart gets killed. It was good.
Well,
I love it.
Here's the thing. Don't let your secret weakness be known before you enact your evil plan. That's his real mistake.
His biggest screw up is really Lex, because there's the knowing that you were affecting him, but him just playing it off like it wasn't working. If he had a little bit of humility and pretended like it hurt him, maybe he would have tipped his hat that there's something going on with him. And the fact that the game itself is a little weird because Dementus comes out differently than Serpentis, which I think is maybe what you call that power, but it doesn't expressly say you cannot be affected by other magic, but it is sort of you can't be affected by other magic and you can't be staked. And it's so whatever, but it was very interesting. I loved this session. I can't wait to play with you guys again, and we will keep it to an hour, I promise.
Right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Goodbye, waving as I hit end broadcast.